So we're going to do a walk cycle now. And with the walk cycle, first thing we're going to know is I'm going to be doing 24 frame walk cycle. So if I'm doing 24 frames, I want 25 frames. Okay? Make sure that the range or the time slider is set up to 1 to 25. Some people like the 0 to 24. For sake of simplicity, I think it's easier to do the 1 to 25 when I'm teaching people this little trick. These tricks here, making the cycle go over and over. And let's see, first thing I notice here is I'm going to be doing, just remember that the first keyframe and the last keyframe have to be exactly the same, and then when I'm playing it back, I'm only going to play back 24 frames. I'll just play back 1 to 24. That's the trick. Okay, I'm looking at the upper body, and maybe I'll just do some quick little fixes here. I just noticed that I probably am never going to animate the scale values on this. I don't think the scale even does anything really. It screws up the rig. So I'm just going to go in and right-click, lock and hide, and get rid of that stuff. And all I'm going to be doing to start off with here is just going in and animating the up and down movement of the body, just to kind of start to get the little essence of the body moving. Okay, and I'm just going to be really quick on this. I'm not going to get involved into the shoulders and hips at this point. I'm just going to do the upper body up and down movement. And so I'm just going to make sure that at the beginning here I kind of look and make sure I got flexed knees. Okay, so I might go down a little bit here, like this, whatever. And then I'm just going to go and keyframe translate Y, and I can right click, key select it. If I just want to keyframe one channel, I'm just going to make sure I've got 25 on here. Right click, key selected, so I just keyframe the first and last frames. I'm going to go to frame 13. Remember, that's your middle frame for a 24 frame walk cycle. And I'm going to make sure that's exactly the same too, and key selected. And then I'm going to go to frame 7. And at frame 7, we're going to pick it up a little bit. Don't pop the IK handles, okay? Don't let them pop. Get them to about here. That's great. Okay. And then I'm going to go in here and right click, key selected. And if I want this keyframe here to be exactly the same at, say, 19, if you do a little trick here, if you middle-click drag, notice that nothing moved when I was middle-click dragging. It keeps holding that position, and I can right-click, key selected. And now that same key is here and here. Boop. See, nothing moves when I click, but I drag through, everything's fine. And I can go in and check the animation. Okay. And everything seems to be going along here. Now, something else too is we got the up and down movement. There is one other thing too, is when the foot comes down here, when your foot is catching you as you're kind of falling forward in your walk cycle, it goes down just a bit lower. And so around 2 or 3, I'll go in and put another keyframe and I'll push it down just a little bit lower. Okay, and I think I might just do that here. Actually, I'm going to do that at 2. And notice that if you move this down, if you middle click because you're not sure which frame you're going to put it on, right, nothing moves. So you can switch, just change your mind before you keyframe it. And I'm just going to go in here, right click, key selected. And I'll take that key and I'm going to put it over here at 14. Right click, key selected. And now if I press play, okay, so we got this up and down movement here. He's jumping up and down. He's very excited. He's going to go walking. Go for walkies. And so now I've got this set up. I'm going to start looking at the feet. Okay, and the feet, I'm going to swipe this wonderful, wonderful trick off of this dude named Martin Leroux that I know. Saw this cool little trick here that helps for when you first see a walk cycle and trying to make out how the feet are moving. I used to do things like I put a plane in the middle so you can just stare at one leg at a time. Sometimes the 2 legs are going, your brain starts going, what the hell is going on? And if you've been drinking, it gets more and more difficult. It's fun, but anyway. So here at frame 1, I'm going to pull the feet ahead. Don't pop the IK handles. I'm going to pull them ahead to say here. And what do I see? I'm just going to go and hit S. And I'll go to frame 25, and I'm going to hit S, make sure those are identical, beginning and end. And I realize, good God, I've got these scales and visibility. I'm never going to use those, so I'm just going to right-click, and I'm going to go in here and use delete selected. Gets rid of the keyframes here. And I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to go and hit lock and hide, because yeah, that's the information I need. I don't need that freaking scale. And now that I've got this set up, I'm just going to go here to frame 13, and let's pull this back. Okay, somewhere right around here. I can go back a bit further if I want to, something like that. Great. And I'm just going to go and keyframe that. Now I'm going to press play. So now we got this funky little dance here going. And, okay. Next thing I'm going to look at is, okay, so the leg is going back. Okay, great. And now when it's coming forward, we'll say, somewhere right around here. I'm going to say there. I'm going to pick the feet up, and I'm going to switch to my rotate tool, and I'm just going to rotate this. I'm going to hit S, and we'll just press play. Okay, so we got something like this going on. And so it's going up here, and then we notice that we get to frame 24. We got problems, so I'm going to go right around here. I'm going to actually go right there. Boop. Pull that up a bit. Pull this over a bit. Hit S. I also got to keep an eye out too, because remember that when you're going up and we go over, when we're going right around here someplace, it seems like the heel wants to go up, but in reality, it's actually wanting to go down a bit. This is where you scuff your feet. It's right around here, so it doesn't go up higher. Sometimes see people doing walk cycles where this is all up in the air, and it's just like you're not doing a German march, you're walking. And I'll do something like this. I'm going to hit S. So we'll just see what that looks like. We're getting a little bit of a warble. I'm going to have to check the curves a bit later. Okay. And anything else I can do here? So this is exciting. Okay, so we got all this stuff working in here. And I might even, I don't know if I want to put I got kind of a foot slap already. And actually I can see a bit of a warble right there. Boop. Okay, it's still a bit of a problem, but whatever. And what else do I want to do? I want to go back here, and I want to make, I could also put in like a foot roll too at this point if I wanted to. I could play with that a bit. I'm just making sure I got this basic part of the walk cycle. And then, actually I'm just going to go here. As it's going to the very back here, I might just do something like this. I'm going to hit S here, and then I'm going to go over to this frame, and I'm just going to take the foot roll. Boop. Prop it up a little bit. Okay. Okay. And also some other things I can handle right here while I'm looking at it is, let's go into the graph editor. And I'll just pull this over. Something I could have figured out right at the very beginning here is going into, actually maybe what I'll do is I'm just going to show you the trick of offsetting, and then I'll start finessing it later. Okay, so I'm going to go to the right foot, and if I take a look at this right foot, here it is. I'm just going to go in and turn on the view infinity, and I'm going to go here to curves, post infinity, and I'm going to go cycle. Okay, and I'll put a curves pre-infinity cycle on as well. And so that's my animation curves for my walk cycle, going off forever. And if I got my move tool on, if I hold down shift when I'm moving, it'll move in a straight line, okay, in the graph editor here. And I'm just going to move this so that it's at frame 13, it's starting. And now if I press play, there's a little warble in the knees. God damn it. Yeah, that's because I was horsing around. I put too many keyframes in here. You can probably see it in there someplace. You can see little bits of pops and crap. But anyway, that's the basics of setting up my little walk. And I'll go to the next bit after this.